sip on private planes. I wanna scream my name on top of the Eiffel Tower. On the Eiffel Tower. I wanna hit that blackjack. I wanna take that money and run right here, right now.
The Lions are now on the clock.
Right now. But I won't take that train. I won't catch that flight if you're not on that plane. We ain't taking off tonight.
The Buccaneers are now on the clock. The Titans are now on the clock.
Karaoke, bump it a little bit louder, a little bit louder. I want to sing along with Elton John in a white limousine.
All right, team is now off the clock. Adam Schefter, can you tell us about their newest player?
He's a ferocious defender whose speed makes him a nightmare for offenses when he blitzes. After setting the team record for sacks in a game, he soared up draft boards. Scouts I spoke with raved about his football IQ, feeling he could captain a defense in a matter of years. Sources tell me that aside from his fierce reputation to get to the quarterback, his true value is that he can impact the game mentally as well as physically. Opposing offensive coordinators will need to give great thought to assigning a back or tight end to stay at home and block him during pass plays. This eliminates an offensive weapon and shifts the balance of power to the defense. Not many linebackers in this league garner that type of attention, making him a special talent.
Oh, I wanna scream.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.
Make you smile, let's be runaways, leave it all behind. Will you take that train? Will you catch that flight? If you're on that plane, we'll be taking off tonight. Oh, the money in the world, baby, don't mean a thing to me, 'cause you're all in the world. And even if we're broke, baby, don't mean a thing to me, 'cause you're all in the world. Right here, right now. I need you right here, right now. Oh, I need you right here, right now. Yeah, I need you right here, right now.
The Ravens are now on the clock.
Yes, ain't gonna waste you, lover. No way it'll be alright. You're messing with a rogue wolf, baby. Darkness gonna break your line. No prayer gonna pipe my thunder. No one's gonna change my mind. You're messing with a sickness, baby. Your heart is a plague on
Now that the Ravens have made their pick, let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about him.
When I ask scouts around the league what his biggest asset is, they always point to his father. His dad is a high school coach that knows how to consistently finish in the top of the school's division. And ever since he was able to walk, he's been on the sidelines for every game. Even after he leaves practice at night, he's still getting advice from his dad at home. And from what I've heard from scouts who watched him play, you can tell the extra coaching has helped. Even during interviews at the Combine, I was told by several GMs that he was one of their favorite players to talk to. He has his dad's eye for the game, and I wouldn't be surprised to see him become a coach one day himself. I like him a lot, and he'll be a great addition to the team.
Let's go to Adam Schefter now, who's got more to say about the Redskins' latest pick.
Sources have told me that it was his impressive college All-Star Game MVP performance that solidified his positioning as one of the most sought-after defensive backs in this year's draft. He has a nose for the football and a willingness to attack the ball as it's in the air. Instincts are a trait that simply can't be taught, and many draft experts have compared him to a young Deion Sanders. If there's one knock on him that I consistently hear, It's that he needs to work on his tackling mechanics and strength. One scout even showed me film where he was shown struggling to bring down bigger backs and receivers one-on-one. He'll be meeting with a team nutritionist and strength coaches in the coming week as his new coaching staff feels that if they can bulk him up a bit, he'll win those battles.
Love is destruction. This war is mine. I am the missile. I am the fire. Love is destruction.
The Jets are now on the clock.
This war is mine. I am the missile.
They swooped in and chose Swope, Adam. What do you think?
His team had one of the best rushing defenses in college this season, and he's probably the biggest reason why. Teams eventually abandoned the run game altogether after they averaged only 1 to 2 yards per carry in the first half. Among linebackers on the team, he would always lead the point of attack, penetrating the opposing team's offensive line. Every tailback that lined up against him seemed to keep one eye on the handoff and the other searching for him. And usually when they found him, it was too late to react. He's one of the best tacklers to come out in years. Hopefully, he'll get on the field soon and help them stop the run.
The envy all reminds me of California, 'cause it's no place like California. California.
The Seahawks are now on the clock.
Texas, Midwest, California.
Seahawks pick is in. Adam, give us the latest information on this guy.
He was an offensive lineman that didn't get a lot of attention in the draft process until after the All-Star game. He was matched up against one of the top defensive linemen in the draft this year, and he straight up stonewalled him. They were calling blitz and showing heavy fronts all game, but he had him blocked step for step the whole game. It was the kind of performance that can send a lineman's draft stock skyrocketing, and it looks to have earned him a spot on the team. We'll see if he can be the blocker the team expects him to be after shutting down one of the better defensive linemen in this class.
Hard colder than Minnesota in October. Don't interrupt, darling. I'm in the zone. Why does everywhere I go just remind me of home? You know that state of gold with the bed. Them other places come close, but they don't compare. Now I've been to New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, 'cause there's no place like California.
Adam, what can you tell us about that last pick?
A consistent performer his entire college career, he went out on a high note in his final game, recording 3 interceptions and being named the player of the game. General managers have been simply drooling over the opportunity to draft him, with one telling me he's as close to a sure thing as there is in this draft. He'll have plenty of opportunity to showcase his coverage skills this season, as he'll likely line up against some of the NFL's most elite wide receivers.
You can catch a hollow. Honestly, it's the same out in Richmond, Virginia or California, either state you can get it. I done seen everywhere from Russia to Delaware. Trust me, I'm well aware. Barcelona to Bel Air, Petty to the Detroit. Don't tell him he saw how heavily he balls. Every project, every seashore. And I ain't content trying to see more nomadic. I probably wind up alone. All it takes is a melody to remind me of home. Now I've been to New York, come on, Texas, yeah, Midwest, and it all reminds me of California, 'cause there's no place like California. California, AATLMIA. DMV all reminds me of California, 'cause there's no place like California. California,
California, no place like California.
The Patriots are now on the clock. The Texans are now on the clock.
Sean.
This over complex new design, I'm tripping over all the time. We try to walk a fragile line. Whatever's left is always right.
The Cardinals are now on the clock.
Cardinals are off the clock now. Adam, what can you tell us about this guy?
Every year, there are a number of players who shine in the All-Star game, getting attention around the league. And this year, he was one of those stars. He blew up in the college All-Star game, finishing with multiple sacks and a forced fumble. The one word Matt Miller gave me to describe his play was relentless. He was on top and on the attack all game long, and he never seemed to tire from it. They tried rotating fresh offensive linemen in to stop him, but each one failed to slow him down. Now that he's on a team, he'll just have to wait and see if he can carry over that same aggressive play from college to Sunday.
The Bengals are now on the clock.
Pick's been made. Let's go to Adam Schefter to hear more about the player.
Every year, the rookie who runs the fastest 40 at the Combine seems to immediately become very popular with NFL scouts. So after turning in the fastest time of his class, he's in the spotlight ever since. On top of that, his shuttle and three-cone times also help solidify the fact that he's just plain fast. The team could definitely use an injection of speed, and this is a step in the right direction.
I'm just proud of my accomplishments. I'm a 400, I don't care at all. Have a head, no, heard you talking about I'm real, I'm fraud. Your kids and broad, they straight, you shouldn't care at all.
Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave.
Yeah, 104 times how it go down. Slaps on deck for the whole town. On mamas, man, I did it with my own sound. And I got my own city that I hold down. Just admit it already. You got plans to do it, boy, we did it already. Got a couple DMs, I done slid in already. Gotta ask YG if he hit it already. Yeah, I'm a star like Mauritius. Running up the numbers like Aisha's.
The Raiders are now on the clock.
Girls these days, they just don't know how to keep it. But I got it all handled.
The Cowboys are now on the clock.
Angles, yeah. I'ma spend the summer getting to the cake and I'ma wishing wood on every candle. I'm like,
Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave. Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
The Bears are now on the clock.
Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always leave.
If you ain't know me, bet you know now. Juicy came through with the verse for me both times. In Bot Town, that's automatic, hold down. What's that? Ask no question, just hold it down. Why you hating on the progress? I'm a humble, I don't even pop. What I do? I just drive the Maybach through the projects. And still brazy, I ain't even drive shit. Hate from a distance, please don't try me. Cause we'll turn it up on anybody. I see why they don't like me. Yelling out 400, they go too heavy. I'm with the posse back at it. Whoa. That mean come on, go on platinum. Whoa. That mean I got a Kindle in my mattress. Oh, I got the BD back bragging.
Please tell me why you always leave.
Why you wait?
me why you always hate me. Please, please tell me why you always hate me.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always hate me. Please, please tell me why you always hate me.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always hate me. Please, please tell me why you always hate me.
Why you wait?
Please tell me why you always hate me.
She's up against them all, but the writing's on the wall. There's more than meets the eye with her. Nothing I can do, I'm left without a clue. She sees it all in black and white or blue. She's got a rebel heart. One day she's gonna fall. She's got a rebel heart. She's up against them all. No, she never will admit that what she wants she never get. She never knows when to quit. I stole it up the skies. Her heart is where fire lies. Can see it in her painted eyes. She's got a rebel heart. One day she's gonna fall. She's got a rebel heart. She's up against them all. She don't seem to understand what she wants to do.
I see both teams filling out cards. You know what that means? We've got a trade.
Like good rebels do.
The Chargers are now on the clock.
She wants to overthrow our love. Maybe too much,
The Panthers are now on the clock.
and we won't make it out alive. She's got a rebel heart. She's had it from the start. Out there on the run again. She's got a rebel heart. One day she's gonna fall. She's got a rebel heart. She's up against.
The Dolphins are now on the clock. The Lions are now on the clock. The Buccaneers are now on the clock.
We set the roof on fire. 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 We set the roof. We set the roof. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof. We set the roof. We set the roof on fire.
ain't made it. 2 threes on my feet, then I pump fake. Baby girl, grab the crew. What if kiss it? Sweat leave, Mr. Couldn't took it quick. Hottest on the planet, got the place lit up. Fly, tried, got expensive taste, sight into. We ain't on the same team. Cheer up. Bunch of that make sit up. I ain't come to blend in, boy, I stand out. Money talk.
The Browns are now on the clock.
If I'm the topic, then the conversation heated. Right shrimp, getting booked up in every city. Splash her with cash, had the spaz on the waiter. She messed up my order 3 times in a row. I'm good on gas, I just filled up my tank. Now let's fill up her head and let's see if she goes.
We set the roof on fire. 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 We set the roof. We set the roof. We set the roof on fire. We set the roof. We set the roof. We set the roof on fire.
So bad, swimming in my bed. Off with it, off with it.
The Bills are now on the clock.
Come and hit the rain, I just lit the gas. Young, wild, winning, living fast. Stash some money in a brown paper bag. We set the roof on fire, then we flood it out. We just threw the money up, we ain't even count. Shake it, shake it, shake it. Shake it in my speeder, girl, I'm nothing, messing up my speech. I'm $1 million player, baby, nothing's out my reach.
The Broncos are now on the clock.
Splash her with cash, had the spaz on the waitress. She messed up my order 3 times in a row. I'm good on gas, I just filled up my tank. Now let's fill up her head and let's see if she goes.
We set the roof on fire. 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 We set the roof on fire.
The Chiefs are now on the clock.